All right, gang, we got a lot to cover today. Let's go ahead and get this started. So coming up first, I'm going to throw it over to the studio for our Industry State of the Union with Ted Schuman and Steve Seger, Chief Revenue Officer at 8x8. Let's throw it over to you guys.
Steve, thank you very much for joining us here on our virtual tech tour, and welcome to beautiful downtown Phoenix, virtually, so to speak. Steve, I know we had a kind of a pregame call leading up to this, and it was a pleasure getting to know you and to hear the similarities of our sports backgrounds and stuff like that. Well, I'm sure we'll get to a little Buckeye Nation here before the call is over. But talk to us about joining 8x8. You've been there about 6 months now. Big job. You know, you're one of our preferred providers, so thank you very much for your participation in the program. But you've been there 6 months. You probably just enough time for a cup of coffee. And what's the last 6 months been like there?
Been a whirlwind in a very positive way. Obviously, you're seeing at 8x8 a huge increase in overall momentum with our customers in the market. Not a lot of surprises, a lot of planning and work went into taking the role. I manage all the revenue organizations inside of 8x8 globally, and pretty much what we like to call the tip of the spear, Ted, in terms of anybody that touches a customer. So from that perspective, it's been great. I'm impressed with the overall engineering street cred that a lot of the people in the organization have. That was a pleasant surprise for a guy like me that, believe it or not, started out doing legacy Y2K COBOL conversions at Arthur Andersen. It's been particularly encouraging to see our engineering team, just the backbone of talent that we have, and how excited they are as we take pretty much globally workflow modeling into the next generation. That's been the biggest surprise, I suppose, and pleasant certainly as well.
I think the first meeting I sat in at 8x8, that's how you guys, your leadership team, actually referred to you guys more as an engineering company, that the voice kind of just evolved through developing more of the platform, so to speak, if you will. So today, as the CRO, what's a day like in the life of a CRO at 8x8?
Well, it starts early and it ends late. I'll start there.
Sure
but as a father of four, I don't think that was ever going to be a problem for me. I would tell you that in the morning, I usually start off with the Europeans and maybe some of the folks in Asia Pac who are something before they sign off for the day. The majority of my customer interaction is very much a product of being prepared and understanding what their needs are. So I spend a lot of time in the morning getting prepared for which customers I'll be speaking to, which partners that day. We approach partners and customers pretty much the same way. In the middle of the day, there's a lot of time to take a look at the business itself and the guts, and just make sure everything's where it needs to be. We're very careful and very mindful of running a solid, tight business model. We get a lot of good partnership from finance and engineering on that. And then towards the end of the day, a lot of time is spent with the folks on the West Coast, and the folks I talk to very early in the morning from APAC are now back awake again, and I'm talking to them before I sign off.
We
in the middle is a lot of customer interaction.
We do a lot of the same thing here. We roll the time zones, right? We have crew that come in early and they're working the East Coast, and as the time zones roll, we kind of work our way back west. But I don't know how many of our partners listening right now caught that. You said partners are our clients. Culturally, music to our ears, and we love hearing that. You just made a lot of friends saying that. I don't even know if you realize you just kind of, was part of your rant. You were just riffing, but that comment stands out on its own. Speaking of channel, obviously, that's near and dear to our heart. You got a great channel veteran in John Delosier. What's your relationship like with John, and how do you guys interact?
He and I know a lot of the same people, which really, if you think about it, and Ted, JD, is not a remarkable statement because JD knows everyone, right?
He sure does.
We have a lot in common. We're both from Ohio. We're both ardent Ohio State fans. Everybody knows that. We tease it. But the reality of it is, JD and I tend to see the world the same way in terms of, look him in the eye, handshake, let's do things the right way. He's usually the first call I have in the morning. And typically before he signs off, he'll ping me in between if there's anything we got to jump on right away, if there's an escalation. He's a great communicator, and he's been a phenomenal partner. When I joined 8x8, one of the things that you do is you assess and instrument the business pretty quickly. And coming from a sales and a customer background, we made some changes, positive ones, and JD was instrumental in doing so. Our channel program as a whole is a true strength for 8x8, and it's a true strength for our customers. And JD is sort of the leader of that. So he and I work a lot together seamlessly, and he's a great person to talk to because he's got a real pulse on the industry in general and on customers. I get a lot of fantastic ideas from JD.
He's got a pulse. He's got a lot of things. He's got a lot of
He does.
personality. And I don't know if there's a bigger lover in the business. And he's a big channel advocate. You've got a good soldier there. JD's good people. We consider him family over at PlanetOne. I think he would say the same about us. So you got a good guy there as part of a teammate in the dugout who's a big contributor, big name, and a big presence in the channel. And you picked up somebody else recently. Might have not been glossed over in the channel or as a shareholder. Thank you for the nice run recently. And but you had Dave join you from Ring Central, come in and now assume the post as CEO. You got a new boss, and talk to us about Dave and your relationship going upstream.
So it's been exciting. This is part of a longer term plan, obviously, and I'll say it. He's a little bit of a celebrity, Ted. Right? Everybody in the industry knows who he is, and
Most definitely.
in a very positive way. I will tell you that he's fantastic to work for. When you're at my stage in your career, you've always been good at stuff, right? But if you're really good, you know that you can get better. And you always want to be around somebody that has the ability to coach you and make you better and to teach you things. So in that sense, for someone like me that measures success and how do I get incrementally better every day at taking care of my customers, taking care of my partners, he's been fantastic. I will tell you, he's laser focused on customers and on partners and on customer satisfaction.
Can we pivot
Been there,
there?
done that.
If you don't mind, can we pivot there? Because Dave comes from a very
Yeah.
partner-centric company. Obviously,
Right.
we know him from Ring Central. What things can we expect from Dave, having come from a very partner advocate, very channel-friendly company? What things can we expect at 8x8 that he brings to the table?
So you made an interesting statement. Dave comes from a partner-centric company, and I would tell you, Dave now runs a partner-centric company as well. He moves quick, right? And he moves decisively, and he's a fact-based guy. He pretty much, I would tell you, is an ardent supporter of channel and customer satisfaction and views them in the same bucket. So from that perspective, it's been an absolute clinic in doing the right things on behalf of the customer, on behalf of partners from day one. The first conversation I ever had with Dave was about, it was 5 or 10 minutes of small talk. And then it was about, tell me about customers, tell me about partners. And just, he's like that, right? He wants more and more data and continues to make more and more good decisions based on what you share with him. And he gets out there in front of customers, as you know, himself.
Absolutely. Listen, I met him I had the pleasure of sitting next to him at a dinner here in Scottsdale. We're up at the Four Seasons one night. I had not met him. It was his first advisory board. I was sitting next to him at a dinner, and one of my peers was up talking, and I might have had a beer or two in me in the time, and I leaned over, and being in classic Ted Schuman style, not much of a filter, I said something a little edgy, and not even knowing who he was at the time. And I say, by the way, I'm Ted Schuman, PlanetOne. He leans over. I said, and you're? He goes, I'm Dave Sipes. I'm the COO over at Ring. And I went, beautiful. I said, well, I'll apologize right now. He goes, no, I completely agree with your sentiments. So I went, oh, thank God, right? Great guy.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Dave's, he's a fact-based guy. He's genuinely a good guy, with small talks around football, trucks, fine wine, the economy. Genuinely, he's just, it starts there, right? People, when they talk to Dave, they get a sense this is genuinely a good person. This is somebody you would want to sit down and have a beer with. And I think the company has really responded to that. He's been there, done that on pretty much every challenge that JD or I see, and has fantastic perspective. He's, from that perspective, you never want to bring anybody that you're working with problems. You want to bring them options. And he's someone that continues to add more options, more ways to get creative, more ways to fix the challenges you have in a day-to-day environment like ours, where we're just growing and growing and growing.
Well, the market clearly responded very positively to his arrival, and I will say, as a shareholder, that's very exciting news, and we are doing our small part to help contribute to the performance over at 8x8. So let's talk about the state of 8x8. You guys are heading into your final quarter, right? Your fiscal year for 21. What can you share with us kind of about the year, and as you head into the final quarter, kind of just a general state of 8x8 as business sits today?
So I would say, in general, things have never been better. We ended up with total revenue growth to around 137 million. So that was in Q3, Ted. That was a 15% increase year over year, and was actually above the high end of our guidance range. And a lot of that growth was driven by huge demand for our bundled CCaaS and UCaaS offerings. So, we continue to focus up market and continue to do incredibly well with new logo acquisition. We have so many new logos, it's hard to track them and share them. It's like, oh, here's more, which is exciting, but it's a good problem to have. Channel contribution is just off the charts. And, again, thanks to Dave, we continue to improve our operational execution and focus as well. You're going to see us moving forward continue to focus more and more on bundled contact center and combination, which is kind of where we lead. That represented 67% of 8x8's new Q3 bookings that were 12K or more in ARR. So that opportunity is really clear for us. And I think for partners, that's a huge cross-sell opportunity around networking, security, and managed services. So, I would just say, in summary, the state of 8x8 has never been better. We broke every bookings record imaginable in Q3. We're having a great Q4 as well. But from my perspective, the real state of 8x8 is our partners have never been happier or more energized, and our customers are really, really satisfied with what we're able to do for them.
So you guys went through a rebranding with the partner program and the open partner program. We're sitting here at still in Q1, beginning of the year. What can partners look forward to with the new rebranding and the channel? Obviously, that's the audience today. So if you could speak to that, I know the partners would love to hear what we can expect in terms of the commitment, resources, or any initiatives you're working on that are very channel specific.
With respect to the open partner program, it was a way to communicate our open communications platform, and it had to be global. Now it is. We actually added a lower tier, Ted, an authorized tier, so that it was just easier to get into the program earlier. The compensation was improved. We're always going to be at the tip of the spear in terms of how we compensate our partners. That's important. It matters. And the marketing benefits were enhanced as well. So we're still in internal discussions for the net new open partner program. So I can't talk a lot about what we're going to do there. You're going to continue to see JD and I have a program that focuses on helping our partners get after this massive market opportunity. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity where we're at in terms of workflow modeling. We want to be able to partner with you more around pipeline generation and enablement. Our enablement team continues to work on, and this is something that I've been pushing them on since October, creating more and more enablement platforms for you guys to be increasingly successful. You'll see more custom blitz days, pipeline generation programs, and there'll be enablement webinars generate with 8x8 that come along with that, 10 data lists, and a lot of co-branded content and campaigns around our combo messaging. So, as we pivot towards where the ball's headed, so to speak, aggressively, we are uniquely suited and very well differentiated in the market. And essentially, the partner program is going to help everybody take advantage of that.
I've spoken to many of our top partners. I just randomly pick up the phone and make the rounds, I'm sure, like you do. Kind of like our call we had the other day. The number one constant across the board from all top partners, leads, saying, that they were able to survive COVID based on their funnel, and it kind of carried them through the year. but business development and lead gen for new logo acquisition still is the number one concern for most partners out there is help me build a funnel. So we literally have gotten pretty granular where we're taking a step further. We're actually working with guys now to actually put a plan together to go to market, to get the leads. So when you talk about lead gen and stuff like that and blitz campaigns, continue to focus on it. We can obviously take that one offline. That is a number one concern of most top partners that are listening today. I'll tell you also something that you guys do, and I'm going to, I know we have a lot of vendors and we have a big day planned everything, but, and it's maybe fitting that we're starting with you, but your channel manager of the year, our channel manager of the year, Kyle Walker, has done an amazing job. He and Kathy and your team out west here, there's nothing magical about what he does. People want to know, why does this guy continue to win this award? He wins the award because he just does what I say at PlanetOne, he does the common things uncommonly well. He does the business development. He does the unglamorous work, the heavy lifting. Most people in the field don't want to do that. They latch onto a big partner like a master agent or one of my peers. They just think they're turning on the revenue spigot. It doesn't work like that. So for everybody listening today, I'm telling you, the guy's a model citizen out there. In fact, I always also say proof is in the performance. Last week we had a lunch and learn for you guys. It was the best attended lunch and learn in the last 2 years we've had at PlanetOne. And we all were wondering how much of that is the Kyle factor, and we unanimously agreed it's a big part. He's the number one driver. So to Kathy and Kyle that are listening, I hope your reviews are coming up with Steve and JD here in the next 30 days because you owe me a beer for that one. But they're fantastic. We love working with them. You've got an amazing team. Listen, can we, I'm going to give you one more question, then we're going to go to some Buckeye Nation. I know every Buckeye fan, you guys in Columbus love talking to Buckeye Nation. So anything you'd like to leave with our partners today as a message from, a C-level leadership guy at 8x8? What would you like to share with the guys today?
I would just a couple of quick points just to summarize what you and I have already talked about. The first is this is an exciting time to be at 8x8. And what I saw when I joined and what Dave is clearly leading us towards is amazing from that perspective. And we want our partners to be a part of that success. We need them to be a part of that success. And we're going to continue to be a great partner to you. So on behalf of Dave and I, just know that we continue to be committed to your success. I would tell you that we give everyone a feeling as a customer that they are a Fortune 10. And that's one of our differentiators. And when you go to Gartner, they'll tell you that across the board, from a combination perspective, that you're going to find that experience everywhere you go. UCaaS, CCaaS, contact center. So the market continues to recognize that we have that experience for customers. And I would just say that with Dave and I, we're going to be very focused on everyone knowing that they're important and that we want to make sure that there's a high level of customer and partner satisfaction. So yeah, I would just say that.
We at PlanetOne have been obviously a lot of chatter as everybody dispersed over COVID. And right now, I think your space for the next 3 to 5 years has a tremendous run left in it. We all read the same reports that, the market in your space only single digit saturation points, which means we still have a lot of customers we've got to obviously evangelize messaging to that we would love to earn their business from. So we saw sales cycles compress. We're being brought into deals that maybe would have taken 6, 12 months before. We're seeing them in 6 to 12 days. I mean, it's crazy what has happened. So the opportunities are abundant. The funnel in your space is the largest of any other vertical we have at PlanetOne. So keep that team of Kyle and Kathy and JD. Load them up with all the Nespresso and coffee they could go. They run hard. We love it. They're a great partner to work with, and we're counting on a big 21 with you guys. So thank you for the team you have in place, Steve, and congratulations on your new role. Now, as much as this pains me, I'm not a Buckeye fan, so I've got to pivot and listen to Herbie on the television broadcast sometimes. Can be a bit over the top, but I get it.
Just a little.
I love when Justin Fields played Clemson in the playoffs this year, I thought it will take that kind of almost Heisman-like superhuman performance to beat the Tide, because that was one hell of a football team.
You know what? I would have loved to have said right then that Fields should have won the Heisman, but I think the following game proved that they made the right choice.
They did.
I couldn't agree with you more. He's just such a on-field coach and such a great thinker, and he's been a pleasure to watch. And by the way, I tried to make Kathy and Kyle Ohio State fans as well, and it just couldn't be done. So from that perspective, very few people can tolerate JD and I with the obligatory 5 minutes of Buckeye talk before every meeting.
Well, you've had some tremendous runs. How do you think Urban Meyer is going to do in the NFL?
Do you know, as a freshman, he coached the defensive backs at my high school?
I had no idea.
Isn't that silly? I think he's going to be successful at any level. He brings an intensity and a focus to detail and doing every little thing right.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of how our new CEO operates, in the sense that if it's worth doing, do it correctly, do it right. So I think he's going to be successful. I don't see any reason why he won't. He's always been. He won at Bowling Green, Ted. He won at Utah.
Easy now. Whoa. You're in the Ute Nation here. Yeah, you're getting a little close to home. Hey, hang on.
He took you guys 10-0. You guys were a force. That was amazing.
For a couple of years there, he had a good run. Believe me, the Utah fan base hated seeing him go. So, but the guy is
everybody did.
Guy's a stone cold winner. Stone cold winner. Enjoyed watching him on TV, but frankly, I enjoy watching him on the sidelines more. So, Steve, thank you so much for participating today in our virtual tech tour. You are officially the first guy that kicked off our 21 virtual tech tour series. So, pleasure to work with you. Thank you again for the team and their support and resources. And we're going to go out and kill it with you guys this year.
I'm honored. You're a great partner. Thanks for having me. And it's going to be a phenomenal year, Ted.
You got it. Thanks, Steve.